Win one for me. Just one.
I will, Kotaro. I swear it.
The grip slackened. The heart monitor flatlined. Kotaro Yamazaki was gone.
I can't let his voice die in here. I'll carry it onto a track.
The next morning, the prison gate opened. Tomoya walked out with a scrap of paper and nothing else.
Keitaro. I'll write this name inside my helmet. No one will see it but me.
For 3 years, a former F2 champion had taught him racing inside that cell. How to attack a corner, when to defend, how to stay calm when your car is on fire.
I don't care if I have to start in a go-kart. I will find a way.
He had no sponsors, no racing license, and a conviction for fraud. The world saw a criminal, but Tomoya carried a name that would one day hold a world championship trophy. A promise whispered by a dying man. 3 years earlier, a knock on his apartment door changed everything. Tomoya was 19 and already in handcuffs.
They're saying I embezzled funds from Uncle Hiro's company, but he planned the whole thing. He told me to sign those papers.
I had no idea my nephew could do something like this. I raised him after his parents died.
He's making me the villain. 10 years. My life is gone.
The prison cell smelled of rust and sweat. The old man on the lower bunk didn't even raise his head.
You carry yourself like a racing driver. I can see it in the way you move.
A driver? I've only ever watched races on television.
I spent 20 years in this cell. Before that, I won the F2 championship. I can teach you.
He took pebbles from the yard and drew the Circuit de Spa on the concrete.
This place might destroy me. But if I learn from him, maybe I can keep a promise someday.
Days slipped into months. Tomoya learned that racing wasn't just speed. It was patience, deception, and cold calculation.
You are diving too deep into the corner. Sacrifice the entry to get a better exit. That's how you win.
I hear his voice even when he's silent. Eau Rouge is a monster you can't tame by force.
In the yard, Kotaro drew circuits in the dirt, making Tomoya close his eyes and call out braking points, downshifts, overtaking windows.
If you can't win in your head, you won't win on asphalt. The car is just a tool. The mind is the engine.
I am starting to feel it. The rhythm, the flow. As if the track lives inside me.
2 years turned him into a racer without a race. But a cell is not a circuit, and the walls stayed close.
Your time will come. When you finally sit in a real cockpit, everything I taught you will ignite. It will feel like home.
What if I spend the rest of my life in here, and that cockpit never comes?
Someday, when you stand on a podium, you'll carry my name with you, even if no one else sees it.
One evening, Kotaro slid a crumpled photograph from under his mattress, a young champion holding a trophy.
I won it all in '98, F2. Future was mine. Then a crash in the rain, and I was called a murderer.
He was a champion. They locked him away for 20 years. There's so much he hasn't told me.
The witnesses, they said I did it on purpose, that I killed another driver out of rage, a lie.
Why didn't you tell me this before? All these years, you kept it inside.
Pain is a private thing. I wanted your focus on the future, not my ghosts.
His whole life was stolen by one bad verdict. But something about the way he talks. He's hiding something bigger.
The old champion never said more. But the silence weighed heavier than any confession.
I don't need the whole truth right now. I just need to win for him. That's enough.
But the question lingered, buried deep. What else had been taken from Kotaro Yamazaki? In the 3rd year, the cough turned dark. A doctor came to the cell. The word terminal hung in the air.
He's dying. After everything he taught me, I'm going to be alone again.
This body is done, but the promise isn't. You have to win. One race, just one, promise me.
I swear it on every lap I'll ever drive. They'll hear your name, Kotaro.
The next morning, the infirmary was silent. The heart monitor flatlined. Kotaro Yamazaki had slipped away.
He's really gone. The only man who ever believed in my dream.
In Kotaro's belongings, he found a scrap of paper. 2 syllables, handwritten again and again. Kotaro.
This is his final message. Not an appeal, not a confession, just his name.
The next day, the prison gate opened. Tomoya walked out with that paper pressed against his heart. A convicted fraud, a dead mentor, and a name written on a shred of hope. The promise had just begun. Every manager shut the door when they heard the word prison. He spent months walking circuits, begging for a chance to test.
They see a criminal, but Kotaro saw a driver. I'll make him right, even if I have to prove it 100 times.
Your past doesn't matter on the track. This car is old and underfunded, but you've got the fire I need.
I don't need a perfect car, just a chance. I'll give you everything.
That night, in the team's tiny garage, Tomoya held his helmet and a white marker. He pressed the name into the foam.
K. Kotaro. You are going to ride in every race I ever start. Not as a ghost, but as a promise.
In his first F2 practice, he drove like a man possessed. The engineers checked his times. They were flawless.
Every apex, every shift. It's like Kotaro's voice is wired into my hands. I am not alone.
The checkered flag fell. Tomoya won his first F2 race. He pulled off his helmet and held it tight, saying nothing.
This one's for you. No one knows yet, but you just won.
A year later, Tomoya stepped onto the F1 grid. Same underdog team, same helmet, same hidden name.
An ex-con with a borrowed seat? Stay out of my way.
He can't see the name inside. He can't hear Kotaro's voice pushing me through every corner.
His first F1 race was a disaster. An engine failure dropped him to last, but he didn't flinch.
This isn't the end. Kotaro taught me patience. The win will come.
Race by race, he climbed. Then, in the reign of Suzuka, something ignited.
The wheel feels alive, like Kotaro's hand is guiding mine. I can see every apex before it comes.
The checkered flag fell. Tomoya took his first F1 victory. The underdog had bitten.
A lucky win in the wet. Don't get used to the taste of champagne.
Let them talk. I won for Kotaro, and this is just the first of many.
Deep in a windowless room, a man with scarred knuckles crushed a cigarette. On the screen behind him, Tomoya's victory lap played on mute.
That kid, he was locked up for the uncle's mess. Now, he's waving trophies with a dead driver's name on his helmet. If anyone connects the dots back to our rigging in '98, or the fraud trial, we have finished. Send a warning.
Tomoya found the envelope under his door. No return address. Inside, a single photograph, his uncle leaving a courthouse years ago. A note typed, "You keep racing, and we bury every soul who ever believed you were innocent. Stop, or the next funeral is yours."
They framed my uncle. They know about Kotaro. This whole thing, it's bigger than I ever imagined.
His first instinct was to call the team, to run. But Kotaro's voice cut through the fear.
Number, I promised. I won't let them take this from me. Not after everything.
He didn't call the police. He didn't tell the team. He just placed the note next to the scrap of paper that spelled Kotaro. In the shadows, a phone buzzed. The message was clear. The boy had been warned. But the watchers didn't know he was already driving with a dead man's vow at Monza. He didn't just race, he hunted. The rival's red gold car vanished in his mirrors. Another win.
This victory is for the man who taught me everything. He's gone, but he never left my side.
The paddock buzzed. Who was the mystery mentor? No name was spoken, but every journalist was searching.
He's playing the sympathy card. It won't last.
He's too brave. That photo is a threat to everything we buried. The next race is Abu Dhabi. Make sure his car doesn't see the checkered flag.
The cameras didn't scare me, but someone dangerous definitely saw that photo. I can feel eyes on my back.
Within hours, a mechanic's palm was greased. The Abu Dhabi car would carry a hidden flaw. In his motorhome, Tomoya traced the painted name with his fingertip. He had no idea tomorrow's car was a trap. The promise was quieter than the sabotage. but louder than any engine. The race started under desert floodlights. Lap 4, a high-speed right-hander, and the rear snapped violently. The car hit the wall rear first. Carbon fiber exploded onto the track like shattered bone. Tomoya didn't move. The medical car screamed across the gravel. The team held its breath.
This wasn't failure. Someone cut the suspension mount. This was murder.
They almost killed me. Because of a photo. Because of Kotaro. I can't just race anymore. If I stop, they win. If I keep quiet, they will do it again. I have to fight.
We can't let them get away. But we're just a small team. What can we do?
We stand on the podium and make them listen. I'll show them the name. But first, I need to win.
He looked at his helmet, placed on a workbench. The painted name was hidden, but it felt heavier than ever. The deeper wound was opening, but so was a fiercer resolve. He wouldn't hide any longer. 3 days after the crash, Tomoya walked into FIA headquarters, his shoulder wrapped. A woman with guarded eyes waited in the hallway.
I am Investigator Mori, Cold Case Unit. Your crash wasn't an accident. It's connected to a conviction from 1998.
Kotaro. She mentioned 1998. Does she know about him?
She slid a photograph across the table. Kotaro, younger, in his racing suit, shaking hands with a man in an FIA jacket.
Kotaro Yamazaki was our informant inside the prison. 5 years he documented the syndicate's cover-ups and race-fixing operations.
He was working for you? He never told me. He died carrying that secret.
His manslaughter conviction was a setup. The same syndicate that framed your uncle framed him. They killed him, and they tried to kill you.
I promised him I'd win. Now I'll win and give you the grandest stage to expose them. Tell me what to do.
Keep racing, win the championship. When you lift that trophy, we'll lift the veil.
The promise to a dying man had transformed into a crusade. Tomoya walked out carrying more than a name. Now he carried the truth. Mori spread Kotaro's notebooks across the table. His handwriting filled every margin with codes and names. The syndicate uses family fraud to create scapegoats. Today, they framed a teenager to protect their rigged championship. He wrote that the day after your trial,
he was fighting for me even when I didn't know it.
This ties the '98 crash, your conviction, and the sabotage to one network. We need one more piece to go public.
What piece? I'll find it on the track if I have to.
Across town, a phone rang in a dark room. A voice reported Tomoya had met with FIA investigators.
He's digging too deep. Bury him in the next race. No subtlety, no survivors.
Win the championship, and every camera will be on you. That's when we expose them.
Kotaro knew the danger. He didn't stop. Neither will I.
The countdown to Abu Dhabi had become a countdown to war, and the syndicate had just ordered his death. A shadow detached from the paddock concrete. Sato froze as a scarred man blocked his path to the team truck.
50 million yen to retire your driver before Abu Dhabi, or we retire your team permanently.
Take your money and your threats. That boy's helmet carries more honor than your whole rotten network.
That night, a brick smashed through the team's garage window. Wrapped around it, a photo of Sato's daughter.
They're targeting my family now. Tomoya, if we race, it could cost more than a championship.
Across town, an old woman picked up her mail. Inside, a single note, "Tell no one, or his grave won't be empty much longer."
Tomoya. They know. They told me to stay silent about Kotaro, but I won't. He never stayed silent.
Nanami-san. I swear by his name. After this race, the world will know the truth. Until then, please stay safe. Sato-san. I'll do it alone if I must. I'll stand on that podium and show them who Kotaro Yamazaki really was.
The promise had grown too heavy for silence. Tomoya would carry it into the final race, and then carry it into the light. The press room buzzed. Tomoya sat behind a wall of microphones, his helmet on the table. The final race was tomorrow.
If I win the championship tomorrow, I will remove my helmet on live television and show you a name painted inside it.
A name? Is this some gimmick? No one cares about your prison fantasies?
The name of a man who was an F2 champion, framed for a crime he didn't commit. He taught me everything from a cell. He is the reason I am here.
You are putting your life at risk? The people who did this to him might come after you.
They already have. I crashed because of them. But I am still standing.
Then you are a fool to race again. You'll lose, and your secret will stay buried.
If I lose, I still won't stop. But if I win, his name will echo around the world. Kotaro. Tomorrow, every camera will be on us. I'll make sure they see.
The helmet sat on the table, mute. Inside, a white marker had written a promise that would either save a legacy or destroy them both. The championship became a duel on asphalt. The rival won in Japan, extending his lead to 17 points.
17 points. Your prison fairy tale ends here.
Keitaro. They're trying to break me, but I promised. 17 points is nothing.
In the reign of Brazil, Tomoya drove the race of his life, finishing first and slashing the deficit to 7. Under the floodlights of Singapore, a masked figure was spotted near his garage. Sato's team chased him into the night.
They can't stop me with fear. Every lap I drive with him.
We've tightened security. No one gets near the car. You just drive.
The penultimate race ended with Tomoya second, the rival fourth. The gap was now 4 points.
4 points to rewrite history. 4 points to fulfill a promise whispered in a cell.
Abu Dhabi waited, its lights glittering like a stage. The final act had arrived. Race morning. A mechanic's gloved hand paused inside the rear assembly. The brake line was severed, a clean, deliberate cut.
Tomoya, they cut the line. If you race, you could die in the first corner.
If I withdraw, the championship is his. Kotaro's name stays buried. This isn't a choice, it's a promise.
20 minutes until the grid call. The crew tore into the car, knowing a patch might not hold.
He'll race. They always race. And then the wall will finish what we started.
Fix what you can. I'll drive it like it's the last car I'll ever touch.
The brake fluid was topped, a temporary clamp applied. The engineers exchanged glances but said nothing.
Kotaro taught me how to handle a failing car. He prepared me for this.
He walked to the grid under the floodlights. The stands roared, unaware he was climbing into a car that might betray him. The engine fired. A name invisible to the world rested against his head. The final race of the season had just begun. Lights out. Tomoya fed the throttle gently, feeling the brake pedal shudder under his foot. The field streamed into turn 1, and he slipped to third.
The brake line is pulsing. Kotaro's voice echoes. Trust the car, not your fear. Smooth entry, late apex. Survive.
The rival leads by 9/10. Tomoya is nursing a brake issue, but he's still within striking distance.
Brake temperatures are critical. 15 laps left. You have to manage or we retire the car.
I can't back off. Every meter I give him, Kotaro's name dies a little more. Push.
Final lap. The red gold car was 4/10 ahead. Tomoya dove into the last corner, taking a line no one else dared.
He's going for the gap. Tomoya on the inside, and he's through. Unbelievable.
The pedal is barely there. Hold it together. For him.
The checkered flag waved. Tomoya crossed the line, the world championship his by 4 points.
Kotaro. We did it. I won one for you, but they still don't know your name. Soon.
The podium ceremony came to a halt. Tomoya didn't raise the trophy. Instead, he quietly removed his helmet and looked inside. He rotated it slowly. The inner orange pad revealed a hand-painted word in white ink. Kotaro.
This is Kotaro. My cellmate, my teacher. He was an F2 champion back in 1998.
The stands went silent. Even the rival champion forgot to clap.
We're seeing something extraordinary. A hidden name, a promise. Who is Kotaro? I told him his prison fantasies were nothing. But this is more real than any trophy.
For 3 years, He trained my mind in a cell. He knew he was dying, and he made me promise to win one for him.
With trembling hands, Tomoya raised the helmet, the name blazing under the floodlights for all the world to see.
I kept that promise. Kotaro, wherever you are, this win is yours.
The helmet told one story. But the full truth about betrayal, corruption, and innocence was still waiting to be told. An hour later, a press conference was called. Investigator Mori stepped next to Tomoya, a thick folder in her hand.
Kotaro Yamazaki was not a murderer. For 5 years inside a prison cell, he documented the syndicate's corruption as our informant. The very same network that framed him, framed your uncle, and tried to end Tomoya's life. Kotaro was innocent and a hero.
He never told me. He carried that secret every day while he taught me to win.
The room erupted. Journalists surged forward. What had been a personal tribute now exposed a decades-long criminal conspiracy.
He was a good man. He only wanted to make racing clean again.
The FIA will open a full investigation. Justice for Kotaro Yamazaki begins tonight.
Kotaro, you fought for justice from inside a cage. Now the world will see what I saw.
Behind them, a screen flashed an old photograph. Kotaro, young and grinning, holding his trophy in 1998. The twist wasn't just about innocence. It was about a hero who wore prison stripes and whose name now carried a world championship. The floodlights were dimming. Tomoya walked through the emptying grandstand, the championship trophy held against his chest. In the front row, a small woman in gray stood alone, clutching a framed photo of a much younger Kotaro.
Nanami-san, this trophy doesn't belong to me. It belongs to him.
The weight of silver and history passed from his hands to hers. She pressed it to her heart like it held his heartbeat.
He often said, "That boy will carry our flag one day." He never doubted you, Tomoya. Not for a single moment.
I won one for him, but he won every single race I ever drove. Every lap was his.
They stood together. The widow of a forgotten champion and the driver who refused to forget, joined by a promise no one had seen. The helicopter cameras caught it all. An ex-convict handing a world championship to a prisoner's widow.
This is the true victory. Not the points, not the fame. A promise kept.
The helmet had been turned inside out. The name was no longer a secret. Kotaro Yamazaki was world champion. 6 months later, the FIA headquarters held a quiet ceremony. On a large screen, a single name flashed: Kotaro Yamazaki.
The FIA formally exonerates Kotaro Yamazaki of all charges, posthumously. He was an innocent man and a hero.
Tomoya watched from the front row, his championship helmet, resting on the seat beside him.
This exoneration is the finish line Kotaro never got to cross. But it's not the end of his legacy. I am retiring from racing. In his name, I am opening the Kotaro Yamazaki Foundation.
The program would offer former inmates training as mechanics, engineers, and drivers. A new path from prison to the pit lane. The first classroom was modest. Sim rigs, blackboards, and a framed photo of a young Kotaro.
He believed racing could save people. Now, this place will save them.
I won one for him. Now he will win every race I never drive.
Where a name was once hidden, a foundation now stood. The promise had grown into a legacy. A cherry blossom fell onto the gravestone. Tomoya knelt and placed the World Championship trophy against the cold marble.
Here it is, Kotaro. The trophy you taught me to earn with pebbles on a cell floor.
A few months later, in a sunlit classroom, a group of young men sat at sim rigs, their eyes full of hope.
Late Apex saves the car. Kotaro taught me that in a place much smaller than this, you can learn it too.
The Kotaro Yamazaki Foundation grew slowly, but every driver who found a new path was a victory.
He gave me a promise when I had nothing else. Now, his name gives them a chance.
In the evening, Tomoya drove an old car along an empty road, the track receding in his rearview mirror. The sign at the center read, Kotaro Yamazaki Racing Foundation. A name once hidden in a helmet now opened a door.
I won one for him. He won every one I ever got to drive.
The road stretched on, silent. But the name Kotaro Yamazaki no longer needed a whisper. It had become a roar.